club, you got to reach out. It doesn't happen naturally. Otherwise, most people use the tracker during this call to track their time, timestamp that you were up, and then do that 30 days and do all the other commitments. Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Very good. Good morning.
Morning.
I did a podcast, I guess like a week ago. Guy posted it today. And one of the questions they asked me, it was an elaborate question. It was like, do all the people around you, it was basically trying to get at, like, do people appreciate, the changes that you've made and have implemented and blah, blah, blah. And I said, not really. Like, one of our commitments is not really to share it all over social media. And the whole idea is that you make, a bunch of changes and people notice your changes where you're not giving them the play-by-play. You're not, basically road mapping them all the way through, which is pretty common in social media when somebody's doing that hard 75 challenge or, all of the people at the gym in January, that kind of stuff. And then earlier we were also talking about some of the, stuff I do in the community, involved in a bunch of nonprofits and everything. And that's the thing I don't really share that much anymore either, because I think it dilutes the reciprocity that it creates, that you're trying, you're hoping that people appreciate what you're doing and therefore will feel reciprocal and hire you. And it's something that happens. But I think the more you promote it, the more it gets, that powerful effect of reciprocity gets diluted. Anybody have a take on the balance of, sharing? Like, for me, this is all for me. I'm pretty, like, it's not like getting up early in my framework and everything. It's, and I told him, I was like, this is easy. I'm up. I do it. It's like, it's great to meet with other guys and girls sometimes that are trying to do the same thing. Like, I enjoy it. That motivates me. Accountability motivates me hardcore. I'm a hardcore accountability guy. I've become a hardcore accountability guy. Anybody got a take on the balance of doing things for yourself versus things to increase your profile on social media or those kind of things?
I like, you kind of reinforced when we began this, or when I began this, about the scarcity. But I've always had, I don't know if I have an issue, would be, maybe that's too strong, but the people especially that do good work, do volunteer work, and they promote it on some social media, I think it devalues what their work is. To me, it may not, they're still doing the work, which is great, but when it comes to like volunteer work or nonprofit work, but outside of that, I don't feel very strongly either way. It's just a matter of the accountability part, like we've done here. People have noticed it without me telling them, so I'll share the lifestyle framework, but I haven't gone out of my way to really, I don't think I've really posted anything. But the people that are important to me, they've noticed.
I don't really publish many things on social media. Probably, I should probably publish more, but I think that there are certain people that do a great job at it. I think there are some people that are very natural. But to your point, like doing nice things and then sharing it, I don't know. I think that there's a way of doing it that's a way of encouraging others, kind of pay it forward, right? Like demonstrating. Yeah. And then there's clearly the people that are, trying to break their arm, pat themselves on the back, which, who those people are too, right? So, I don't know. The older I get, I think I care less about what people think. It's just what I need to do, right? Like, I'm not doing this for anybody else except for a commitment to, the people that are around me, right? Including you all, right? I don't know. It's just the way I think about it. I know I need to get through some things. I know I have to get some stuff done. I know I have to leave to take my daughter to lacrosse before 6 a.m. to get her there, and I'll be at the office shortly after 6. So I just totally adjust my schedule, right? If I didn't go to bed, then she wouldn't be there. So it's all interconnected for me. I still get the same amount of sleep. I just have to go to bed earlier, right? It's just an adjustment. It's a reallocation, and to be able to work somewhat uninterrupted is nice to be able to think. So
I'm not like against, posting on social media. I think it's the over posting is what I know what, because we all unfollow people on social media. We all have good friends that we unfollow because they post too much, or I think with the good deed type stuff, it's great when people share a post about you when somebody else is putting the spotlight on you. If that happens, that has a lot more power. But
that's what I try to do, to post for others. That's about the extent of my posting, is posting on behalf of others.
yeah, you give recognition to people in your organization pretty frequently, like monthly and stuff like that, right? So that giving other people the recognition, I think, is awesome, like for you and for them, because they don't have to, share how great they are to the world. You do it for them.
Somebody recently asked me that. I was in a closing, and one of my clients said, "I always see you post for all your people, and that's awesome. I never see you on there." I was like, I don't need to put myself on there, right? So I celebrate others. So like in those top agent type things, I never include myself on those posts. So
And the other way I take a look at it is to each his own. Like at times I look at like, why do I even care? Like care meaning like, why would I even be bothered if someone does post about themselves? I mean, it's their post about themselves about, promoting the work they've done. I mean, the it shouldn't be something, that I should be concerned about. To each his own, and if it works for them, then good for them.
Yeah, I think the nuance for me is how people share something. If they're trying to get spread the word about a good cause and help people find it, and also possibly get involved or donate. I think where you put the spotlight. I guess the thing that I think is harmful to anybody doing it is when you're putting the spotlight on yourself. If you're, I don't know, there's probably a better way to explain it, but anyways.
You mean kind of like the person that says, "I helped 2 people this week. I paid for their groceries, but they're doing their 2, so you can see their Rolex in front of their Mercedes steering wheel." You mean that one, or?
Well, the thing that we see from time to time that I think people have bashed enough that you don't see it as much is the people that are helping the people that are in the worst part of their lives. They're down on their luck, and I'm going to save you, and I'm going to make a video about me saving you, get out of this homeless shelter and get a new pair of socks and put you up in my grandma's whatever. It's you're completely like embarrassing somebody to show the world how great a deed you're doing. You don't see
pull somebody into a picture, that's down on their luck, like, I paid for this person's groceries. I get your point. That's done the wrong way. I found it amazing when Johnny Carson passed away. They talked about how much unknown charity that he did. He spent a good amount of his time and his fortune supporting great causes that nobody ever knew about. And I thought that was amazing. He impacted a lot of people's lives while he could, and he never expected anything in return from it. And he was somebody who struggled a lot with a lot of his own demons, but maybe that was his way of making good on things. But he gave a good portion of his fortune away to the less fortunate, and nobody ever knew it. It only surfaced after he passed away.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, other people should call you a philanthropist. If you know, like I think it's better when you get acknowledgement. Like I don't know, you give $50 a year to the YMCA, you're hardly a philanthropist, but many people will claim that title in their in their social media description for probably giving less. So it's all very interesting. I think there's a balance. That Johnny Carson is an extreme. I think somewhere in the middle for me works. But the guys on the podcast, that was my whole point. They were a little shocked that I didn't really promote the heck out of it, and I was like, it's really not. You know, I'm. And then there is a thought of, well, maybe this thing dies out over time because of it not being promoted more. So I'm thinking a little bit more about, you know, one of the things I thought about, and I'll end with this, was that I think it's a pretty good challenge for people that are coaches that are trying to get their, you know, the people they're coaching into accountability and finding the time to implement some of the things they're being coached. So I did think about inviting some coaches on to see if they'd want to come on and also invite people they're coaching. But at the same time, I'm totally cool if it stays like this forever. So it's because it's not really, you know, it's not anything I want to go overboard on anyway. So
It'd be good. I agree with you. It would be good to, you know, share more. Not saying from you necessarily, Ron, but that's one of the things it seems like with the scarcity part of it is that you know, at times, like how do you introduce, you know, to others while you're still going through it? But the I do find myself, like when I speak with people, it's people are in different parts of their lives, and people that seem to be in a very good place and things are firing on all cylinders and they don't feel like they need change. Then, you know, when they ask me why do I, you know, they're like, so what's new? And they ask me, I heard you're getting up at 4:30. Maybe my wife shares with them. Then you know, I share the very basics with them, but you know, the whole purpose behind me doing it is you know, that I want to be a better version of myself. So that may not be what's important to them, or I want to get more time, you
it's
know,
not for most people, and I think it's pretty badass. Like, you know, having the ability to hold yourself accountable to doing bigger things. You know, going for the moonshot activities in the morning and hanging out with your family or community or whatever, basketball games with Ray in the evening. So, anyways, we're
cool.
past our time.